right, ladies and gentlemen, it does appear that Ryukyu-san is back at it again with another video, and this time it's going to be focusing on Wuthering Waves, specifically the 2.0 Renesita update, and what the good old nation of Japan thinks about it. And I think he's one of the greatest people to speak on this matter because, well, I don't know if you guys have heard, he actually lives in Japan, but he's not Japanese. And so obviously he's going to be able to give us that context on, you know, from the English speaking side of how this entire situation has been breaking down. And I'm hoping to see that there are some very great things coming out of the nation of the rising sun. So with that, let's go ahead, let's get right on into it and see what the vibe check is like. Take it away, Ryukyu-sensei.
Japan's relationship with Wuthering Waves has been rocky since the start. With the unnatural sounding localization and the absolute fiasco with Jian's weapon banner, many people have been worried that Wuthering Waves was all but dead in Japan. But this new 2.0 Renesita update put all those fears to rest. Many big names have been—
That's the thing. I believe the 2.0 update also put Ryukyu's fears to rest. And so maybe it's like a global, it's like a world buff in Japan that's just quelling everybody's fears. And, you know, Ryukyu living there has also been affected by it.
Been checking out this update, including two of the biggest Genshin players on YouTube, artists from Fate Grand Order, and one of the largest Twitch streamers in Japan, Kasen. So, what did they have to say? I watched through dozens of hours of live streams, checked out thousands of comments, and looked at hundreds of—
I can't read any of this. I would love to know what it says though.
Tweets. Just before making this video, in fact, Nagi, a huge Genshin CC in Japan, put out a tweet asking for their community to let them know
What's the point of you speaking Japanese if you're just gonna click the translate button? I could have done that shit too. What's going on, Ryukyu? I thought you were gonna read that shit out loud to me. Not just press the fucking translate button. Anybody could have done that. The fuck? You fraud!
what they liked and didn't like about Wuthering Waves. I went through absolutely every single one of these comments and tabulated how many times I saw certain things being missed.
Oh fuck, not the Excel spreadsheet again. Oh god. Oh god. I like that he blurred it this time, so I'm just waiting in anticipation. Hey, Ryukyu, suggestion for the next video? Can you activate something called dark mode so that I'm not flashbanged by your fucking video? Thanks.
Mentioned about what they liked and what they didn't like. And these results tend to reflect what I've been seeing in other places as well. Okay, the first thing that they liked wasn't really to do with the game itself, but rather the developers. No matter where I looked, even when people were being overall negative about Wuthering Waves—
What the fuck are they saying, man? What do you mean they're being negative? I can't see what they're saying.
everyone agreed that Kuro Games clearly cares about this game, and one of the biggest pieces of evidence for that was with the speed of patches and updates that they bring out. They really like that Kuro seems to be taking in feedback from their player base and implementing the changes that players are asking for.
Alright, I need to play that back so I can actually read what's on it. It's amazing how this management listens to player requests and makes improvements while playing at the stone... I believe that's the premium currency. Return rate is amazing, so I want everyone to play as well. The improvement from the user's perspective is too scary. Ooh. Striking some fear. Players can only be happy. All right, so this is obviously like a bunch of hype, right? People are very excited about it. They're spamming all those big updates. You even got the creators themselves glazing as well.
前々から持ってた不満であるとか、ここちょっと改善したら良くなるんちゃうかっていうのを一つ一つね、しらみつぶしに改善されていっております。で、今回のアップでこの動画で紹介しきれないほどにボリューミー、かつゲームがめっちゃ改善もされてて。
In short, devs listen.
So Japan's got some premier Kurobots now. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, we got Japanese Kurobots making their own videos. And I like the subtitles there, Ryukyu. That was very helpful.
And Japan loves it. What they didn't love though is that the majority of the 1.x characters seem to have been completely forgotten about in favor of new upcoming characters. Just like how many people like to solo clear holograms with Danjin, or with the sheer popularity of Sephiroth as a character, Japan wanted at least some attention given to these characters before moving on. The next thing they loved is just how—
That's true. I do believe that the only character that we saw before heading into Renesita and then never seeing the 1.x roster ever again was Shorekeeper. I do believe it was Shorekeeper. It was Shorekeeper and she was just like, all right, see ya. Alto? Oh, it was Alto. Based and true. He gave us his boat, and then his boat got fucking destroyed. Yeah, that was the last moment we saw Alto. He was just like, hey, here's my boat. It was a self-piloted boat, guys. He wasn't on the boat with us. Alto was not on the boat. He said this is self-piloted. He didn't come with us. And so when the boat got capsized by the giant Leviathan, he did not die because he wasn't on the boat. Guys, he's not dead. And that's the thing. We wouldn't have just fucking left him. We wouldn't have just been like, peace, bro. If anything, he's just a little bit financially unstable after losing his investment. That's it. That's the only thing, okay? I'm pretty sure the leader of the Black Shores is going to reimburse Alto for his private vessel getting destroyed at sea. I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen, guys.
How forgiving the gacha system is, particularly that there is no 50-50 on the weapon banner, and also how you can buy duplicates in the shop.
I will say translations would have been good here.
2凸分まで交換できるっていうのを聞いてね、いや、すげえなと思ったね。直接凸できるよっていうのが言ってるんでね、かなり親切設計。4凸が実質貫凸。
Japan is known for spending the most
True.
on games per capita in the world, so something like this really...
I guess that's the dynamic, right? The Japanese are very, like whaling. Big whaling in S6 characters might actually be like the meta for them, right? Because I can't imagine that they would be spending this much if they weren't big whaling on characters. Because there's literally just not that much stuff to buy in the game, if we're being frankly honest.
stands out as an absolute godsend for those who want to whale but don't want to whale too much.
Come on, get a clip of him pulling the 5-star, man. Don't show me all his L's. He just made a W statement. Why do we have to see his L's now?
In fact, I actually saw one person that said that the gacha is too forgiving and that they wanted Kuro to let them whale more. I mean, if you've got money burning a hole in your pocket, you can just whale on my account if you want. I won't say no. Next up for what Japan loves is the combat.
Well, that's the thing. You haven't actually thought about it that way, right? If there really are, like, maybe the meta for Japanese streamers is they had, like, an allotted amount of cash to spend on the game. And then they're like, man, I had budgeted 3K to WuWa this month, but I was only able to spend, you know, 1,000 before I C6 or S6 and R5 the character. Well, time for some giveaways. I mean, that low-key, that's what I would do if I had already, like, had made a budget for pulling. And then, like, I fucking... I just S6 R5 the thing early. They probably... I feel like maybe they do more giveaways. Let's see if that's actually the case.
Fast, fluid, and stylish combat is what Kuro Games is known for, and Wuthering Waves doesn't disappoint. While it might not get as technical as their other IP, Punishing Grey Raven, it offers just enough complexity for people to get invested in without feeling overwhelmed. Not only that, the variety...
Well, there are still a lot of people that get overwhelmed. All us handless Westerners who can't even, like, fucking drink soup without spilling on ourselves. Yeah, we're gonna struggle playing Wuthering Waves.
variety of different attack animations of not only the characters we control, but also the bosses and overworld mobs are also another thing that Japan really, really enjoys.
いやまだ敵じゃないな70レベルからやなやっぱさあ腕が生えた
Use your intro skill! Use your intro skill, Narumeru! What are you doing? What are you doing? He's ready! What are you doing? He's letting him transform!
腕が生えるとフェイタルエラー攻撃がすごいあえ新技えワンバン
Paimon's Revenge.
やばい
What they don't enjoy though is the grind to build characters. They didn't go too much into detail about what they meant by this, but from the other comments I've seen, I think they're talking about how they feel that there's not enough wave plates, the wave plate overflow cap is too low, waiting 2 minutes for bosses to respawn is a pain, and
I think that one of these claims is valid, if I'm frankly being honest. I genuinely don't think the weekly boss mats are like a huge issue, unless you are, for some fucking reason, maxing the abilities that your characters don't use. The thing about the wave plates is also, like, I think it's fine, to be fair. Like, I think the 240 system that we have is cool. The only thing I really agree with here is the boss respawn time. Because I don't know if you guys did what I did, but if you didn't do the story at the start of 2.0 and you just did the early access to farm Carlotta's Echoes, oh, that was nice. Oh, you just go in, you blast the motherfucker, and then you just press escape and restart, and you blast his ass again. Oh, that was premier 4-cost echo farming, ladies and gentlemen. And if you didn't do that, oh boy, you really fucking missed out. Because having, like, that respawn timer for the bosses, it is no bueno. 2 minutes is a little bit too long. But yeah, for weekly boss mats, guys, I'm going to be honest. If you are maxing out the intro skill on any character other than Shorekeeper, that's honestly an IQ diff. You are quite literally making the game harder for yourself and then complaining about it. The only character whose intro skill should reasonably be above level 5 is Shorekeeper. And if I go onto your account and you have a maxed out intro skill, unlike your fucking Camellia, why are you blaming the devs?
how only being able to get the rewards 3 times per week is too low. What isn't too low though is the level of quality in the graphics and environment. Almost every comment I saw
Shorekeeper and maybe Jinsei. All right, we have a comment from the author of this video himself. I'm 10 out of 10ing everyone. So what? Fight me. Okay, buddy. You also plus 25 your echoes and complain about the experience. Another self-inflicted issue, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, he doesn't actually do that. I saw him roll an echo going in increments.
spoke about how they loved the way the game looked. Also, I didn't see anyone make any distinctions to say that they only meant Riensita either, so I can only assume that they meant every location that we have explored so far. Huanglong, Mount Firmament, Black Shores, and now Riensita too.
うわーおお初だすごくないですか。もうこのオープンワールドゲー好きとしてはこれほどの広大なマップ、これほどの綺麗な景色を縦横無尽に飛び回れるっていうだけでもうよだれ出ますよ本当に。
Is this an accurate translation? Enough to make you drool? The Japanese do have a way with words, I will say.
To add a little more onto how Japan doesn't like the grind for building characters, there was also this other thing that I saw brought up very often. Echoes. Whenever I saw echoes brought up, it was always a combination of, yeah, the echoes are cool, but there isn't enough experience or tuners. This
Just roll better.
echo experience and tuner scarcity issue was one of the 3 biggest problems I saw that Japan had.
I wonder why he doesn't have enough experience. Wow. Wow, we just didn't click the fucking add by step and we just raw dog slammed every echo experience material we could. Who cares, right? Hey, who cares if the first 3 substats are fucking defense percent, flat defense, and then HP percent on our DPS? Hey, fuck it. Let me see the next 2. Who cares? Who cares if I only get 30%, I only get 70% of my experience back? Hey, if the artifact is HP, and defense, let me see the next 2. Hey, maybe I'll roll double crit. Surely it's worth it.
Had with Wuthering Waves.
あ、素材なくなっちゃった。
She got 3 fucking Jues in her inventory. 3 fucking Jues when 1 person uses the Echo. We got 3 Infernal Riders, 2 Fallacies, unequipped. But hey, it's the game's fault.
はい、ほー。
And just personally, yes, I have to agree. Another thing I agree with is the exploration and movement mechanics in Wuthering Waves. Even from the very beginning, Japan has loved how easy it is to get around the world, with infinite stamina to run around, wall jumping and flipping up and around obstacles, as well as the grappling hook that any character can use. The movement in Wuthering Waves that any character can use.
Guys, Natland exploration is so fun. It's so cool. I pulled my Kinich and I was able to navigate in ways I've never been able to in Genshin Impact ever before. What do you mean they copied Wuthering Waves? No, this has been in development for 17 years. What do you mean they were inspired by Wuthering Waves? No! No way! It was all planned, you dumbass!
The movement in Wuthering Waves has always caught Japan's interest.
いやこれがね本当移動しててすごく楽しい要素かなと思いますね。はい。というわけでもこれ見てるだけでもかなり遊びたくなりませんか。
And now with these recent additions of the elusive sprint, gondolas, as well as flight, Wuthering Waves has taken the #1 spot for gacha game exploration in Japan. Okay, this next complaint I heard might take a few of you by surprise, but the second largest complaint I heard from Japan was the sheer lack of male characters. Again, in almost every comment I saw that was talking about what they want changed in future.
Alright guys, let me just put on my Google goggles. Surely I'll be able to understand what's on the screen now. I still don't.
Almost everyone said that they want more male characters, which makes sense if you've been paying attention. When Wuthering Waves announced the first batch of Riensita characters, Brandt almost got the most attention out of anyone. Rocha got 27,000 likes, Carlotta got 33,000 likes, Phoebe got 35,000 likes, and Brandt got 44,000 likes.
Whoa! What this means is that Japan must be full of homosexuals, is what the traditional Western audience would say. Whoa, you like a dude? That means you're gay! It's like, no, I'm a guy. And so when I see a cool guy character, I'm like, oh, since I'm a guy, I can relate more to the guy. I'm gonna be honest. When people say that, I'm like, well, you prefer controlling someone opposite to your gender, where your inputs dictate what the character is doing, and you prefer when it's a woman that you are self-inserting into? Hey, you do you, brother, man. All I'm gonna say. You do you.
Likes only outpaced by Zanny with 52,000. I mean, for obvious reasons, just look at her. My point is, though, that Japan is also crying out for more male characters. But on the point of characters, though, this was the top commented thing I saw that Japan likes about Wuthering Waves. They absolutely love the characters. everyone always pointed out just how well the characters are designed. And not only that, they loved how the characters looked in-game too. What I mean by that is that when characters are announced, they might look good in their drip marketing, but when it comes to actually seeing them in-game, it leaves a lot to be desired. Not with Wuthering Waves. Japan loves how the in-game models look exactly how they do in their drip marketing and cutscenes, if not
better.
even better.
なんかもうザンニーもブラントもフィービーもさ 2D のイラストも良かったんけど 3D モデルになってなおいいすごいね
The variety in the idle animations, poses, and attention given to even the most minor of details has
I'm out. Even if I was the first person to find out that this existed, I wouldn't tell anybody. I wouldn't tell people that I knew this was there because of the implication.
Of details has really impressed Japanese players. The biggest problem that I saw most often brought up by Japanese players was, of course, the story. Acts 1 through 3 to be specific. Yeah, no one likes these 3 acts, whether in EN or in JP. Even when I saw comments saying how good they think the story was, there was always the caveat saying, except the beginning. And I think we all know why. But it's even worse for Japan. As I've explained many times before, the amount of jargon that is brought up in the early chapters made it difficult for many to get through in English, but it's almost impossible in Japanese because of the way that the Japanese language is. There were many words that had certain kanji that are never seen together in Japanese, so it was quite literally impossible to know how to even read the word. Okay, this is a slight side tangent that isn't really to do with Wuthering Waves specifically, but there was this tweet which went a little viral on Twitter with almost 5.2 million views. It was talking about the description of skills from a lot of the Chinese games, and this is the tweet. In the skills section of Chinese games, there are too many descriptions like, when you activate Jugamu, you get 1 stack of Goko, and when you accumulate 5 stacks of Goko, the Surikire buff is activated, and when in the Surikire state, the Kai, Jari, and Suigyo buffs rotate every 1.5 seconds. Basically, it's talking about how the detailed descriptions are making it too difficult to understand. But not only that, they're also
Hey, I'm cool with it. Us guide makers need work too. The more convoluted and hard to understand a rather simple kit is, the more work I get to do. 'Cause guess what? That is a pretty accurate description of Carlotta's kit, which at first glance, you look at Carlotta's kit and you're like, what the fuck is this thing? And then you play her in the game and it's like, she has some of the easiest fucking rotations in the game to actually execute. And there's like very little room to like fuck up her rotation once you figure out what the right one is. But like, you read her kit and you will actually get stun locked. So it's like a bit of give and take. Obviously, it's the CC brained approach, but you know, it's most of the time it's a lot easier than it actually is.
also talking about the length and convolution of the naming structure. You might have recognized a few of the words in that tweet that's from an old famous Rakugo story about a boy who had a ridiculously long name. The full name is Jugama Jugama Goko no Surikiri Kai Jari Suigyo Undai Matsu Furai Matsu Kuneru Tokoro Nisumu Tokoro Yaburu Koji Noburu Koji Paipo Paipo na Paipo Shuringan Shuringan no Gurindai no Pompoka Pi no Pompoka na
Go fuck yourself.
no Chokyumen Chosuke. And no, I cannot and will not say that 5 times fast. Anyway, the point is, Japan is tied with the length of these descriptions and the naming schemes in general because it just makes it needlessly difficult to understand just how to read it all in the first place.
スキル詳細が難解すぎるってところで軽く椿のスキル見てほしいんですけど、どうですかねこれ。一目見て理解できる人はいるんでしょうか。私はもうお手上げです。この手のソシャゲなら当たり前っちゃ当たり前の光景かもしれないんですけど、名調はね特に難解かなと。その難解さに拍車をかけているのはやはり専門用語で、どのキャラもスキル、共鳴スキル、他特性に名前がついているから、その名前を用いてステータス解説すると頭パンクするのよ。毎回新キャラが出てくるたびにここを読んで理解。
Man, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. It's harder to understand, especially when I don't know Japanese. It's a lot harder to understand, admittedly. When I can't read what it actually says, it's tricky.
理解するのだいぶ時間かかるので。
I've also mentioned this before too, that the name of Wuthering Waves in Japan was also misread for the longest time as Narushio, which is based on the Kunyomi reading. The correct reading, however, is Meicho, based on the Onyomi reading, for those that are interested. Jargon in games isn't that much of an issue, the Final Fantasy series can attest to that, but the problem is that there was a lack of consideration for the Japanese players because many of these words, places, and even names of characters, there wasn't even any furigana above
Just learn Japanese, bro? Hey, likewise. Just roll better, bro. Hey, no double crit? That's called a skill issue, buddy. Just roll better, bro. You're slacking.
the word to let the Japanese know how to read it in the first place.
なんて読むのこの子漢字がわかんない。この人なんて読むんだ。シロちゃんかな。漢字読めねえ。
It might sound trivial, but it is a
You know how you just told me, Ryuku-san, to learn Japanese? Hey, I guess I guess that Japanese guy gotta learn Japanese too. Hey, he said he can't read. Hey, I get he gotta learn that Japanese too. Look at this dude, man.
It might sound trivial, but it is a huge problem in Japan. While combat is a massive part of Wuthering Waves, the majority of players here play the game for the world, the characters, and the story. And if they can't even read the names of these things, it takes a
Nah, bro. I play this game just to 30 out of 30 of the TOA and then show all those noobs with skill issue how bad they are at the game. That's why I play Wuthering Waves. Come on, man. You don't represent me, Ryukyu-sansei.
away a massive part of their enjoyment. And Japan does enjoy the story of Wuthering Waves, except Acts 1 through 3, like I said. And even more so, they especially enjoyed this Renecita update. One streamer was so moved by the climax, she actually broke down crying on stream.
Did you really have to use that wording, bro? Like, have you ever heard of the term phrasing? Like, come on, man. Why you gotta do her like that? Don't tell me you're actually confused by why I'm saying that. Are you actually... You're trolling, right? I actually don't get it. Let's play it back, ladies and gentlemen.
One streamer was so moved by the climax, she
One streamer was so moved by the climax
actually broke down crying.
that she broke down crying. That's not even it. It's like, that was just poor phrasing. Nah, I'm gonna be honest, man. That was just poor phrasing on your end. How about at the conclusion of the story, she was so emotionally invested in the outcome that she broke down crying. And then you play the clip. Nah, you did her dirty, man. Whoever this Alice in Wonderland looking VTuber is, you did her dirty.
感動して泣きすぎてスクショできなかった感動しすぎてスクショ逃したちょっとすごすぎたんだけどやばすぎた鳥肌がずっと止まらなくて
So despite all the problems that Wuthering Waves has had, especially in Japan, this Renecita update has injected a new vein of life into the game, and now it's being recommended more and more. Multiple times I saw comment threads of people saying, I left because the jargon was too much, is it worth coming back? And having many people respond, yes, come back, it's good now. And also, when I saw these streamers playing Wuthering Waves, I saw the vast majority of their chat and also in the comment section saying thank you for covering Wuthering Waves. People have been waiting for this. And looking at Google Trends, Wuthering Waves is sitting—
Whoa. Another content creator using Google Trends? Surely they must have no idea what they're talking about using data like this. Oh, no.
pretty damn comfortable with 3 times the amount of attention compared to Honkai Star Rail, a game that was frequently sitting in the top 5 best gacha games in Japan. Saying that though, Zenless Zone Zero is catching up too.
Oh, what the? Hey, this just HSR just looking like booty hole here. I guess Japan don't like the power creep very much either. Isn't 3.0 like fucking tomorrow? What the fuck is... Wait, this is actually bad. Wait, this is like right before 3.0. Oh my god. Hey, I guess Pokey was right. It's, the Japanese spend the most money per capita, spend the most money on gacha games per person. They truly are the stupidest and the greediest. And so they have the biggest problems with power creep and decided to quit this shitty game.
Zero is catching up too. So, that is the state of Wuthering Waves in Japan.
So, my overall thoughts on the situation is that, well, it does look like the Japanese love this game. It seems like it's made like a pretty huge comeback from pretty much every angle. It seems like there's a lot more big names entering into the conversation. I think the funniest part about all of it is I actually think Hoyoverse helped make this happen by being such absolute fucking dickheads to Nerumeru, and in a way having him sort of like lead the charge by going in and having this partnership with Kuro and start streaming the game, and then a lot of other Japanese streamers, which were likely getting also fucked as well by Hoyoverse, joining in to follow him because they're like, well, it's not like we're fucking getting anything either. Why not just try this shit out? Because he's doing it. Bro is like the biggest Genshin streamer. Obviously somebody that you'd probably want to keep under your umbrella, but Hoyo has too big of a fucking ego to actually let it happen. And you know, now it looks like the game genuinely is coming back so much to the point that it is like actually taking a fat steamy dump on Honkai Star Rail. Like, it's actually just taking a fat steamy dump on HSR. I don't even know how to describe it otherwise. Like, it's getting fucking destroyed. It's actually literally getting destroyed. And that might be like literally just how popular WuWa has become, because this looks like if this was the peak after 2.0 launch and it is back up here in the middle of the fucking update when nothing new has actually dropped. This is incredible. It is incredible if it went and peaked right back up to here when there actually hasn't been anything new in 2.0 this entire time. It's been the same exact game with maybe like one additional event, but I don't think a co-op event is gonna bring it all the way up like this. I think it's just the natural progression of the game because of how good it's become. It was awesome getting that overview. Definitely wish there were more active translations in the video because it was, like you said, a lot of it was just trust me, bro. But maybe we'll do a react to Ryukyu-san's stream as well to see whether or not he's actually telling the truth when it comes to these conclusions. With that, let me know what you all think. I thought this was a pretty banger breakdown of the information. And yeah, peace out.